Hi class. This week we're talking about problem solving, decision making, excuse me, how they differ from each other. So this week's questions, we'll start out with number 1. It says, using concepts from this week's chapter, describe the primary problems to be solved in the Hockaday case. I think that the original problem of software development falls into this. Everything went successful until there was a problem. But just solving the fact that software needed to be developed, I think that falls into that. The second problem needed to be solved when the error occurred and they noticed the issue with the language barrier, the main problem that we looked at for this case. The second question says, describe the choices that Jill has for problem solving and decision making process. Make sure you apply chapter 8 to your response. With decision making, it looks like Jill would have a set amount of options to choose from. These could be options based on her past experiences, maybe other managers' past experiences, or her technical knowledge. But basically, this is good when a quick decision is needed. She chooses from a set number of corrections or fixes for that problem. Then if Jill were to be problem solving, then that's when Jill may need to assemble a team, maybe do some brainstorming, make a tree to see which options may be the best for the problem that she has at hand. Problem solving is described by the text as taking a situation from unfavorable to a more favorable situation. So rather than decision making where you choose from a few set number of items to fix the problem solving opens it up to quite a few, and there may not be a perfect answer. So the third question says, which of the problem solving processes discussed in chapter 8 should Jill consider, and why? Should she combine more than one approach? So the text this week said that we should consider a few things when looking at problem solving and decision making. It said that you have to look at things like budget, the time frame, the complexity of a problem. So I think that all goes into this as well. Brainstorming, I think, would have helped Jill in this situation if she could have maybe assembled a team to do some quick brainstorming. Also, I think she had an individual approach in here as well as leader mandate. I say individual approach because even if she would have assembled a team, I think that it really is up to Jill. And because this was a crisis situation, I think that her leadership and quick decision-making skills are needed. I think that if it were a little bit less important, time was of the essence, wasn't of so much of the essence in this case, that her problem-solving and decision-making processes would be a little bit different. So the fourth question is, according to the text, what are the skills needed for problem solving and decision making at Hockaday responders? The question, I don't understand it 100%. So I just think what they're asking is, what are the skills needed to be a good problem solver or decision maker at Hockaday? So it says that you need to be open-minded. You can't be judgmental. You can't be critical. You need to hear everybody's ideas. Brainstorm, really just come up with a lot of information and then go ahead and look at it. And the final one says, what else from this week's chapter should be considered or applied to this case? And I think that there's nothing really that I can think of. This week's chapter was relatively short, and problem solving and decision making is what the whole case study has been about. So I think that it really ties into it on a different level. I don't think that anything else should be considered in this case. So thank you so much. Have a great week.